My name is Claude Charron, and I'm the Director of Education and Professional Development for the Conrad Foundation. The following brief video will be on CDM Module 8, using team task sheets for individual accountability. If you've ever worked in a team, sometimes you might feel like you're doing too much work, or maybe you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, or you feel a little confused about where the team is going. So we've created a task sheet that a lot of companies actually do. And I'm going to model that for you. I'm going to show an example. I'm going to show you the sheet, and then I'm also going to share the actual task sheet for your team to be able to use if needed. So really looking forward to actually going through this with you. So let's go ahead and look at the actual sheet first. So I'm going to go ahead and dive right in. So here is a team task worksheet, team name and group. So this sheet is intended to potentially meet maybe up to 2 to 3 times a week. As you can see, there's 2 dates, a date and a time, and then there's a second meeting for a date and a time, which can be changed. Very important to have a purpose when you're actually meeting. What is the purpose? And then once you define the purpose, okay, what are some of the objectives to meet that purpose? Also important. So here's where the magic happens, okay? So when you tend to have a team of 5, sometimes all 5 members are doing the same task, or we're not really clear on who's doing what. So first thing I like to point out is one here, the name of the sub-team member is the same as the task here, and it's also the same as the action items. So I'll talk a little bit more about what that means. So let's suppose Joe is 1 here. That means Joe is responsible for the name of the task in the description here and the action item, as well as a secondary action item. So this is a good time to explain the difference between a task and an action item. A task can have several action items associated with it. So I'm going to go ahead and provide an example briefly. Okay. However, the task should have a description. And once that is there, then you can break it down even to smaller steps that are attackable. And then over here, I have a little checklist of, okay, this is when it's completed. Okay, so this is what a team could do within the first 5, maybe 10 minutes at the beginning of a week to make sure that everybody is held accountable for what they're doing. Once the team has finished their weekly meeting or bi-weekly meeting, this is now the post feedback. So did number 1, Joe, have any concerns? What is the next step for Joe? And does the team need to order any parts, supplies? And then we have a checklist of everything from pictures and videos. And if you're using a Slack channel for communication, you can go ahead and do that. Materials that you might have in the room, put away. You need to order anything, clean up, and so on and so forth. It's also important to point out that the teacher or mentor can actually use this as an assessment, which has been used across all industries and universities. Okay, so the next part to this demonstration is to show you one example. So this is a team that is going through a very general project. Okay, it's not a Conrad challenge project, but it's actually a project where you have more than 1 member, and in this case 4, that are asked to produce a PowerPoint with certain information. So here's a great way to get started. So as you can see, the purpose is stated here to help people generate electricity during storms. Okay, the objective to create a Google slide and create individual best solutions. Okay, so those were the 2 objectives the team felt like that they needed to address. There was 4 members, and those 4 members were all tasked with the task of creating slides. However, they broke it down into descriptions of which slides they would do. And then in addition, 1, they would actually break it down into a specific, okay, within that slide, there is going to be a design brief that will be written, and then there will be prior solutions. So as you can see, this task sheet enabled the team to figure out who's doing what task they needed to complete, what's the description of the task, the action items that associate with the task. This is something that can be placed in Slack later or communicated via a board. Task worksheets help teams collaborate more effectively, hold people accountable, and keep people on task. This sheet will be shared with all teams if they choose they would like to use it and change or modify any of the existing information. As always, please locate me via Slack if you should need any help. Thank you and good luck.